everyone. I'm Erica. Happy Saturday. Let me just set this little thing up here. I hope everyone is doing well. So good. All right. Hi. So if you have two blocks, which I have over here, they can come in handy. But again, if you don't, feel so, rather, if you don't have blocks, you can use books. But again, you can always modify without them. So we'll start sitting, and if you have a block, you can actually sit on one of the blocks and just let your shoulders relax. And as you feel grounded through your seat, just begin to witness your breath. Right, so depending on how long you've been sitting, maybe you've already been meditating, your breath might be quite calm and even. But if you just joined us, or maybe you felt the need to rush before class, just notice, right? Not good or bad, but just notice if maybe your breathing feels a little hurried or irregular, and then just try to steady it into a normal, even breath. And again, if I didn't mention, my name is Erica Robinson, and this is Aligned Vinyasa. Take one more deep breath in through the nose. And breathing out through your nose. Let's just inhale, both arms up for a moment. And really feel your rib cage lifting up and away from your hips, right? Like you're really lengthening your torso, right? Making your belly a little bit longer, side of the waist longer. Take another breath in. And then exhale to take your side bend over to the right. And really either side, we're gonna do both. Just get a nice stretch. If you did go over to the right, would be your left side body. Now a little tip, guys, sometimes, and it does depend on the flexibility of your lat muscles and certain side body muscles. If you're going over to the side with your elbows bent, notice this difference. See if you can manage to lengthen that top arm a little more. You'll notice it stretches the side body just a bit more. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhaling. And exhaling. Good. We'll take another breath in. Now exhale, sweep your top arm down. Just take a moment to bow forward. Reaching both arms forward. You might feel a good stretch in your back muscles. And we'll just inhale back up to sit. And just again, letting your shoulders relax. We'll inhale both arms up nice and tall. And then exhale as you hinge over to the other side. Or I should say side bend to the other side. Now again, be mindful of this top arm, in my case, my right arm. A little less of this if you can help it. And a little bit more lengthening of that top arm. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath in. And then we're going to exhale, circle top arm down. And again, just really reaching both arms forward. And then we'll lift up to sit. And just bringing the hands to the heart center. Perhaps offering gratitude for another day to live, another day to practice yoga. It's pretty chilly outside, but it's beautifully sunny. Nice clear skies, at least where I am here in the DC area. Tacoma Park, Willow Street Yoga. Feel free to set an intention. And then we'll just release the hands. You can remove a block of any padding if you have it underneath your seat. And let's just find our way into a child's pose. So we'll just sit back towards the heels. Arms nice and long. And just take a good breath in through the nose. Exhaling through your nose. Breathing in. And breathing out. We'll inhale up onto all fours. And then really root your knuckles nicely into the earth. And then we'll just inhale to a cow pose. Belly dips, heart lifts up. And then exhale as you round your back, cat pose. Inhale, arch up, cow. And exhale, round the back for cat. Now, keep going. Start to cultivate that lovely Ujjayi pranayama. All right, so if you remember from previous classes, it's a bit more of an intentional, even breath, right? So it's a bit more audible. Right? You inhale through the nose. But see if you can make your exhale through the nose audible. One more. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, round the back through the nose. We're going to inhale to the neutral spine, shoulders away from the ears. And then let's separate the knees quite wide, big toes touch, child's pose here. So super duper long arms. See if maybe the forehead can come to the floor. And let's really crawl the arms forward a little bit more. So much so, guys, that you might start to feel a stretch on the underside of your arms here, right? So very, very long arms in this child's pose, which is a great preparation for your downward facing dog, right? So although down dog does require some muscular strength, of course, it also requires some muscular flexibility. So if you are someone who has a challenging time aligning the arms directly alongside the ears, the side of the head, this can be a great pose to do if you're really reaching the arms long to get that little stretch. One more breath in. Stay for the breath out. Now let's just come back to all fours. Remember, we're going to tuck the toes, send your hips up, downward facing dog. Take a moment here, full breath in. You can even pedal out through the feet a bit, breathe out, warm up the backs of your legs. We'll just softly bend both knees. And then again, think about the alignment of the arms alongside of your head. So for a lot of people, this is a common tendency. I always go over this. It's very important for your down dog. Try your best to melt your chest closer to your thighs. So just that action there is going to help a lot of us get arms closer to the side of head. Now again, that's not happening. It can be that you need to bend your knees a little more, but sometimes it's just an arm and shoulder flexibility issue, right? So we just work on it. Nothing wrong with just simply working. One more breath in. One more breath out. Let's inhale, roll it out to a plank pose. Now look forward on the mat. Stay for the exhale. Notice if your head is drooping. Do your best to pick the back of the head up. Inhale. Right, you're technically in Tadasana stance, even though we're in plank pose. Same alignment. Hips up, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down low. Take a moment here, breathing in. Exhale as you slowly walk your feet forward. Just to the very top of your mat. Right, so maybe you sway a little bit here. Again, feel free to soften the knees. You can even take a little bit of a ragdoll stance, perhaps moving from side to side. And we'll just release the arms here. Take a breath in. Exhale as you slowly roll your way on up to stand. Good. We'll inhale, arms up high, prayer. And then exhale, hands at the heart center. Take a moment, find your center. Really be nice and grounded through the feet. A little adjustment here. And then we're gonna inhale, both arms up, high prayer. And then exhale as you fold forward, Uttanasana, all the way down. Let's inhale, right foot behind for low lunge. And then exhale, left foot back, downward facing dog. Now all we're gonna do here is inhale, plank pose. Try to lengthen the sides of your waist. And then exhale your hips up, downward facing dog. Right, so this is a variation on a sun salutation. Inhale, right foot forward. So it is one breath per movement. Exhale, left foot to match. Inhale, flat back. Now we're just gonna exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up, high prayer. Exhale, hands heart center. Inhale, arms higher, Urdhva. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, left foot behind, low lunge. Exhale, right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. Now see if you can look forward, right? You're completing that alignment of lengthening the back of the neck. Exhale, hips up, down dog. Let's inhale, step the left foot forward, top of your mat. Exhale, right foot to match. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, refold. Inhale, arms up high, prayer. Exhale, hands heart center. And this time we'll inhale, arms high. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, right foot behind, low lunge. Now we're going to exhale, left foot back, downward facing dog. Take your full breath in. Take your full breath out. Now, little windshield wiper action. Hands are going to stay the same. We're simply going to bring both heels to the right. So it's like a little swivel of the feet. And notice how that gives you a lovely stretch along your left side body. We'll just inhale back to neutral feet. All 10 toes facing forward, stay for the exhale. Let's inhale, right leg high. Down dog split. Then exhale, open up the hip. Let's just bend the right knee. So get a really nice stretch in your right quadriceps. We'll inhale, straighten the right leg. Now let's rescore the hips. And just one time, guys. Exhale, lead a nose, round forward and hover. Let's see if you can really use your abdominal muscles here. Inhale, right leg high. And let's exhale, place right foot forward and through in between the hands. So adjust your feet as you may need. Low lunge. So I like to use my fingertips if you can see that there. However, if you feel blocks or books serve you better, sometimes that just gives you a little bit of a lift that you might like in your hands. Right? Sometimes I like it too. This depends on the day. What's going on with our bodies. Every day is different. Now we'll take another breath in. Let's exhale, drop the left knee to the floor. So point your back foot. Notice if your hips are coming back and or if your left knee is too far forward. So in this pose, we're not so much going for a 90-degree angle in the back leg as much as that back leg or thigh being more on this diagonal, right? So you get a good stretch in the left quads. Left hand can go down inside the right foot. Lift your right arm up, forward twist. If it's okay with your neck, you can look up to the right hand. Nice deep breaths. going to tag on a half bind here. So right arm wedges onto the right rib cage. Keep leaning your right chest back into space. Start to feel that stretch in the right shoulder. In fact, you might even like to do little wiggles in the right shoulder, little circles, just to see how the placement of the shoulder matters as far as your stretch. One more breath in. Stay for your breath out. Let's inhale, right arm up. And then exhale, release the right hand down. Now, you can use your blocks or not. Tuck your back set of toes. Lengthen and fold over your front leg. Now let's focus on symmetry in the pelvis. Right, so again, different traditions might stress different forms of alignment. Here we're really working with what we call neutral pelvis, symmetrical pelvis. So in other words, the left pelvis would like to go back for many of us. It's just easier. We tend to run away from the sensation of the hamstring stretch. But try to work with left hip forward, right hip back. And really what we're doing is creating even hips when we apply that sort of action. All right, so in alignment yoga, Iyengar yoga, almost really every pose is focused on symmetry in the hips. So sometimes it might be hard to understand, but even in things like pigeon pose, warrior one, even things where the legs are asymmetrical, we're trying to get even hips. Not always easy, but that's what we're attempting. Now keep your legs and hips the same, guys, as we walk our hands way over to the right. So coming back into this side body stretch, you're really reaching through your left arm. Get a good stretch in that left side body. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath in. Stay for your breath out. Let's inhale, hands back through center. And then just exhale, bend your right knee. Now, if you have blocks, you may scoot them forward. We're going to lift our left leg up, but open the hips. So we're coming towards half moon legs. You can keep both hands down for now, whether you're using blocks or not. Fingertips also can work. Notice the open quality of the left hip. Full breath in. Full breath out. Now inhale, bend the right knee. We're just going to exhale, step the left foot way back. Try to line your right heel up with your left arch. And then we're just going to windmill arms on up to a Virabhadrasana 2. Good. Yes. So arms are very parallel to the floor here. Sometimes we can lunge a little more in our front leg. And just notice the alignment with your ribs above your hips. This is a common tendency in Warrior Two. A lot of times it's because, we're looking over the right hand, so we might feel like we have to reach a little more than the ribs get affected. But think about rib cage above hips. One more breath in. Maybe you bend the right knee a little deeper. Breathe out. Flip your right palm. Inhale, tip back. Just peaceful warrior. And then we're going to exhale, windmill hands back around to the floor, low lunge. So spin up your left heel. Inhale, right foot back, plank pose. Now let's exhale, chaturanga, dandasana. If you have to tap the knees to the floor, that's fine. Inhale, back up, plank. Exhale, hips up, down dog. Full breath in. And full breath out. Use your breath. Inhale, step right foot forward, top of your mat. Exhale, left foot to match. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, refold. Inhale, arms up, high prayer. Exhale, hands heart center. Full breath in. Full breath out. Now a little different, we're gonna hinge into warrior three. So again, even hips, neutral legs. Avoid the left hip opening. So we're gonna do more of a sort of hinge. It's like, think of your whole left body. It's gonna stay in that line, right? As we literally hinge forward. The right leg, of course, stays vertical. But now we're making the upper body and the left leg horizontal. Right, so again, a lot of this is just geometry. Sometimes we'll take different approaches into a pose or entryways into a pose. One more breath in. One more breath out. Now inhale, see if you can do the same hinging back up to stand. Might be harder than you're used to or easier. Okay, breathe in. Exhale, arms alongside of the body. Breathe out. So this time, inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale your way forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, left foot behind, low lunge. Really, really reach it back. Exhale, right foot back, down dog. Take a moment here, full breath in. Now make sure your feet are hip-width distance apart, breathe out. We're gonna inhale, now hands don't move. Exhale, swivel both heels to the left. And then stretch in the right side body. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, legs back to neutral and feet. Stay for the exhale. We'll inhale left leg high. Exhale, open up the hip, right, kind of like a half moon hip. Bend the left knee. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Re-square your hips. Exhale, knee to nose, shift it forward. Inhale, left leg high. And then exhale, left foot forward and through. In between the hands. So nice low lunge. And again, you can use your fingertips or sometimes blocks are more appropriate. Spreading through the collarbones. Let's tap back knee to the floor. Really point your back foot. Right hand comes down. Left arm lifts up. Yeah. So first we're just going to work on this nice long extension of the arms. Notice if you're sort of shrugging the right shoulder up into the ear and try to move the right shoulder blade down the back. You're creating space for the left side of your neck. We'll inhale, lean the left chest back slightly more. Exhale, add the half bind. So you're getting a nice stretch in that left shoulder. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath in. Maybe go a little deeper in the hips, moving forward. Breathe out. Let's inhale, left arm up. Transitions are also important. Try to make them graceful. Exhale, left hand. Now we'll tuck right set of toes underneath. Lengthen and fold here. So, because the right leg is the one that's behind, right or back, it's gonna wanna make the right hip also look back. Our job is to isolate. So it's like we're still trying to isolate the pelvis in neutral, even though we're doing, you know, different shapes with the legs. Keep breathing. And keep your hips super even. But see if you can walk your hands now over to the left. Really reach through the right arm, right side body, full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath in. Stay for your breath out. Let's inhale, frame the front foot. And then exhale, bend your left knee. So we're just gonna lift right leg up, but half moon shape in the hip. So notice the difference between our warrior three leg versus this open quality in the hip. We're stacking right hip on top left hip. Now again, this is supporting half moon. So both hands are down for now. And then we're going to inhale, bend the left knee. See if you can land right foot back. Line your feet up nicely. Left heel to right arch. And then windmill arms on up. Virabhadrasana 2. So think of crown of head lining up with base of spine as opposed to this action, right? We want that vertical alignment. So think of Tadasana. So they say really Tadasana is in every pose in some form or fashion. In this sense, we're still trying to keep our pelvis directly underneath the rib cage and shoulders. Maybe you lunge a little deeper, full breath in, full breath out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, flip it back, peaceful warrior. Just stay for the exhale. Breathe in. And we'll exhale, windmill hands back around to the floor. We'll lunge, so spin your right heel up. This way, we'll inhale, left foot back, plank. And exhale, chaturanga, parallel arms. Inhale, push back up, plank. Exhale, hips down dog, full breath in. Full breath out. Let's inhale, left foot forward, as far forward as you can go. Exhale, right foot to match, top of your mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, spread your collarbones. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands heart center, full breath in. Find your center, full breath out. So, again, think of your body kind of like a hinge as we lift the right leg up. So it's like the upper body and the right leg is going to really try to move all in one piece, ideally. Now we're in Virabhadrasana 3. If you lose your balance, no big deal, right? It happens. Just come back to it. You might find you have to bend your left knee a little bit. One more breath in. Exhale, right foot to match. Left foot, inhaling. Let's exhale, arms alongside the body. Exhale. Inhale, arms high, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold it forward, Uttanasana. Let's inhale, right foot behind, low lunge. Exhale, left foot back, downward facing dog. All right, now this time, let's inhale, plank pose. Exhale, drop the knees to the floor. Breathe in. Exhale, bend the elbows, but try to keep your arms very parallel with each other. All right, so avoid those elbows winging out to the sides. Inhale, modified plank. All right, so this is easier with your knees on the floor. Exhale, bend the elbows. Very slow push-ups today. Inhale, plank. Exhale, bend the elbows. Maybe you don't go so low, but you're working on that parallel form of your arms. Inhale, back through plank. Exhale, big toes touch, brief child's pose. Full breath in. Full breath out. We'll inhale, tuck the toes. Send your hips up. Downward facing dog. Inhale. And again, let's exhale, swivel both heels to the right. So very brief stretch, left side body. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, feet back to neutral. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, right leg high, Ekapada, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, open up the hip and the knee. Let's inhale, straighten the right leg, re-square the hip. Exhale, knee to nose, round forward, hover. Use those abdominals. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, place right foot forward and through, in between the hands. Breathe, low lunge, full breath in, full breath out. Now, make sure your feet are on this train track alignment, right? So you can steady yourself as you inhale, arms up, high lunge. It's okay if you need to bend the back knee. So we do want to go for an upward torso. Sometimes when people force the leg straight, their torso hinges forward. Now, you can do both, great. Right? But again, think of Tadasana as far as crown of your head lining up with the base of your spine. So easier said than done, but it's not like we want to poke the hips back or tailbone back. We're still pretty much going for neutral pelvis, even if that requires you bending your left knee. Just do a little bit of lunge work. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Exhale, rebend right knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, rebend. One more, inhale, straighten. Let's exhale, rebend. Inhale, hands forward, back leg stays straight if possible. Exhale, right arm up for another twist. Let's inhale, lean the right chest back. Exhale, add on the half bind. Full breath in. And full breath out. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, release your right hand down, blocks or not, straighten and fold over your front leg. Inhaling. Exhale. One more breath in. Exhale, let's walk both arms way over to the right. Again, nice stretch in the left side body. Now this time we're going to inhale, frame the front foot. Bend the right knee. So just a little heads up, you might want to keep your block just a little bit in front of the right pinky toe. So we're bending the right knee. We're setting up for supported half moon pose. So both hands can stay down at first. Open up that left hip and leg. You see that stacking there. And then do engage your abdominals. So it does help if you scoop the navel to spine, but you're using that core strength to help you lift up Ardha Chandrasana. So you might choose to keep your gaze on the floor, which is a bit easier. As you maybe want to challenge yourself, you might look at the side wall, maybe even up to the ceiling. Not necessary, right? Just an option. Let's inhale, bend the right knee. Now, similar transition to before, it's just that our arms are a bit different as we come into Virabhadrasana 2. Full breath in. Try to keep aligning, shoulders above hips. Breathe out. Now this time we'll inhale, straighten the front leg. You might have to shorten the stance, which is fine. Right? Stabilize, feel stable through your feet. And then really decrease your right hip back. Now I stress this because sometimes people try to go into triangle pose just by tipping. They do this sort of action, right? But there is this creasing that has to happen in the hip. So you're bringing your right hip back. So the right hand might land on the shin bone, and that's fine. It does not have to go any lower. You can go lower. Make sure that you're keeping your right waist pretty long. Come back to the Ujjayi, breathing, working with breath control, pranayama. We're just going to inhale back up to stand. Let's exhale, pivot, right foot to match your left foot. So outer feet are parallel with each other. We'll interlace the fingers behind the back. So feel nice and open in your collarbones, guys. Right thumb on top. So we're going to try to be mindful of the positioning of the mudras, the hand positions. One more inhale, lift in the chest, a little back bend. Exhale, bow forward. Fan pose. Prasarita Padottanasana. So we're gonna lift those shoulder heads up and away from the floor. Remember, it's okay if you need to bend your knees a little bit. One more breath in. Stay for your breath out. Let's inhale. And then exhale, bring the hands down to the floor. A few undulations with your spine. Inhale, lengthen your back part, moves forward. Exhale, refold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, refold. Now again, working with your fingertips is a bit easier. One more, inhale, flat back. And then exhale, refold. And see if you can pivot both feet 90 degrees to the right. So they don't really have to shift all that much as doing a quick pivot, right? We'll bend the right knee, come back, downward facing dog. And take a moment here, inhale, and exhale. So inhale, bend both knees. You can exhale, step, hop, walk, your choice to make your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, refold. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands heart center. Take a moment, breathe in. Breathe out. So left foot can go to the inner right thigh for tree pose. So if it needs to be the ankle, that's fine. If it needs to be the calf, that's fine. Avoid your knee. You don't really want to put too much pressure on the knee. Now again, nothing's perfect, right? But what we are aiming for is just open hip. It's like, really, it's a little bit of a warrior two in the sense that our left kneecap is really facing in one complete direction. It's hard to explain, but say how warrior two is like this. It's different, of course, but we want that left kneecap this way. If we were doing warrior two this way, right? But tree pose, same thing. We want the left knee facing this way the best we can. It requires a bit more hip flexibility. So again, it might not be perfect, but you're working towards that opening. If you can bring your left foot all the way up to the inner thigh, go for it. Now again, come back to the idea of symmetry in the hips. So because the left leg is higher, I want to face this way just so you see what happens is the higher we lift our left leg, the more tempting it is to hike up the left hip. I'm exaggerating a bit, but just to show you, we really want to try to create symmetry in the hips. Couple more breaths. We'll inhale, point the left knee forward. Exhale, let everything release. Mountain pose. Full breath in. Full breath out. Let's inhale, arms high, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, your way forward, Uttanasana. Let's inhale, left foot behind the lunge. So really bend that right knee. Exhale, right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. Your choice to drop the knees or not is you exhale, chaturanga, bend those elbows. If it's too much, bring those knees to the floor. Inhale, back plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Try your best not to rush. We're building upper body strength here. Inhale, plank. Exhale, bend elbows. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees wide. Child's pose again. Take a full breath in. Full breath out. Tuck your toes, send your hips up again. Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Now this time we breathe in. Let's exhale, swivel both heels to the right. So again, nice stretch in the left side body. Now just because we're taking the side bend, guys, doesn't mean move forward into the arms. If anything, that takes away from the side body stretch. You're still moving the chest towards your thighs. Inhale, feet back to normal hip width stance. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, bend the knees, stack the hip, full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, straighten the left leg, re-square your hips. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, left leg high. Let's exhale, left foot forward and through, in between the hands. So my foot didn't quite make it where I wanted to just now, right? It can happen to all of us. Just take your left hand if that happens, right? Scoot your foot forward. Make sure your feet are on the sort of train track pattern. Inhale, arms up, high lunge. Okay, so different from warrior one. So if you're a little bit new to these poses, that's okay. Sometimes the poses look very similar, but it'll just be this little kind of nuance that makes it a different pose. In this case, it's not warrior one because both sets of toes are facing forward. Thigh bones are both neutral as opposed to external rotation in the back leg. Now try to keep that vertical positioning with your torso, right? Avoid this business. If anything, bring your ribcage back. Crown of head aligns above tailbone. Inhale, straighten left leg. Exhale, rebend left knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, rebend. Inhale, straighten. Let's exhale, rebend and pause. We're just gonna inhale, hands to the earth. Exhale, left arm up for a brief twist. Inhale, lean left chest back into space. Exhale, half bind, full breath in. Try to really snuggle that left arm on, full breath out. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, release your left hand down, straighten and fold over that front leg. Inhale. Square hips. Exhale. Let's inhale, reach both arms way over to the left. So we're reaching through the right arm. Create that lovely stretch along the right side of the body. And again, it might be a little challenge to, stay in tune with your hips. Sometimes, it really is just about practice. You might still have to scoot your right pelvis forward and down a little bit. We'll inhale, hands back to frame the front foot. Exhale, bend your left knee. So, externally rotate your right leg. We're basically lifting on up, supported half moon, just to start. Now again, your left hand, your left block, try to position it, if you know half moon pose, in that right position for when we begin to lift the arm. So it's pretty much right hand, a few inches in front of that left pinky toe. Navel to spine will help as you blossom right arm up. Ardha Chandrasana. So again, gaze could be at the floor, side wall, ceiling. Wherever you're looking though, try to keep a very fixed focal point. That's your drishti. Inhale, bend the left standing knee. Exhale, come back. Virabhadrasana 2. Full breath in. Keep the crown of the head aligned above the tailbone. Breathe out. Let's inhale, straighten the front leg, adjust your stance if needed. And then exhale, reach forward and down. Triangle pose. So again, no worries if your left hand needs to be a bit higher. Try to keep scooting your left hip crease back. You want to lengthen the left side of the waist. One more breath in. Maybe gaze up to the right hand a little more, breathe out. Let's inhale back up to stand. And then exhale, pivot your left foot to match your right foot. So this time we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back, left thumb on top. Inhale, lift in the heart. Exhale, bow forward. Fan pose. Prasarita Padottanasana C. Yeah, now if you're a little tight in the shoulders, you know, no worries, do your best. You don't have to lift the fists as high, of course. But as long as you're feeling a stretch in the biceps and shoulders, you're doing a great job. And, you know, just try to bring those shoulders up and away from the floor. Take another breath in. And then exhale both hands to the floor. Breathe out. Let's inhale, flat back. Exhale, refold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, refold. Just one more. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, refold. So let's walk the hands over to the left foot. You're simply pivoting both feet 90 degrees to the left. Bend your left knee, palms flat. Step it back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, inhale. Remember to melt your chest closer to your thighs. Less of a plank action, right? Be very clear. It's a diagonal shape with your arms and your back. Inhale, bend both knees, lift your gaze. Exhale, step or hop forward, top of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, refold. Inhale, arms up, high prayer. Exhale, hands heart center. So notice your beautiful, even hips. Full breath in. We want to keep them symmetrical. Breathe out. So we're going to take right foot, inner left ankle, calf, or thigh. Regardless of how high you lift your right leg, though, try to keep the right hip aligned with your left hip. So distinguish the difference between your hip and your thigh. Just because the thigh wants to go up high is, you know, we're trying to make the thigh go high, does not mean to lift the right hip. This is really true for many balancing poses, right? Warrior 3 included, we're working with even hips, even though we're lifting one leg higher than the other. Let's inhale, point right knee forward. Exhale, come back, mountain pose. Full breath in. Stand a little taller. Full breath out. Let's bend both knees. Skier's pose, variation on chair's pose. So in skier's pose, not so much stress on the shoulders. We want to keep a nice broad collarbone. Now, what can happen is as we lift the arms, for some people, it's like the chest starts to collapse in, if you can see that. So some people need to take different positions with the arms. Some people, you know, need to stay with the cactus shape in the arms. But again, see if you can isolate your chest. So regardless of how high you reach those arms up, whether you cactus or not, try to keep that broadness in your chest. Yeah, good. One more breath in. Maybe you sit a little deeper. Breathe out. We'll inhale. Let's just exhale, fold forward. Uttanasana. Full breath in. Full breath out. Now we're just gonna switch it up a bit and work on Bakasana, crow pose. You do not necessarily have to lift the feet. I wanna offer some different things for people. Sometimes, even though I find it to be a little tricky, sometimes people find that stepping on a block gives them a little bit of an extra height. Again, sometimes different things work for different people. You might find this is harder, but your toes are already lifted higher away from the floor. So if you want to give this a shot, you can. If not, just place your hands on the floor and try to bring your knees to the backs of your upper arms. So again, everything's different. Sometimes I'm really just easily lifting my legs, my feet, but you can stay here. This is still very challenging. Bringing all this weight into the arms. It's basically Chaturanga Dandasana in the arms with a different positioning of the legs. So if you can lift your feet up, go ahead. You might just want to keep your feet on the block. Take rests in between if you need. We can spend a few moments here, and if you want to avoid the block, you can also just try this, bringing your chest forward, toes staying on the floor. Now, if you find that you can lift one or both feet, great. Maybe you do for a second, maybe you rest. Some of you might be nailing it for like 10 breathing cycles at a time. So do what you need to do. And just remember, modifying and taking it easy is never a bad thing. You're definitely still getting stronger just by attempting crow pose, even if you don't lift the feet, but you're just bearing weight into the arms and spreading the collarbones. Still a really great workout. Let's take another breath in. Exhale, let's all come into this Malasana squat. And then can relax. If you can bring your forearms to the floor, great. It's a nice stretch across the upper back. 2 more breaths, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now, if your blocks are nearby, you might want to have them just a little closer. You may or may not need them. I like to use them sometimes to help me lift up to balance now in Prapadasana, tiptoe pose. Inner thighs are touching. Now again, we're going for Tadasana alignment in the upper body, meaning it's very vertical structure in the torso. So ideally we're not here, although it's way easier to be here, this diagonal in the chest. See if you can go for vertical structure, crown of the head reaching up, as opposed to this, right? So notice that difference. It's like you're leaning against a wall. So some of you might need to still use your blocks. Others might be able to balance, navel to spine, bringing your hands to prayer. Again, if you lose your balance, no big deal, right? At least you're trying. It's all part of the practice. Full breath in. Keep reaching up through the crown of the head. Breathe out. We'll inhale the hands down, and then however you need to take a seat. Just let all of that go. If your legs are feeling a little pain, you can shake out your legs a bit. And then we're just going to take the hands behind the thighs. And then try to rock forward so that you're more in the center of your sitting bones. Now I find it very difficult to stay that way, but you definitely don't want to be all the way back on the tailbone. So you're making an effort to really stay grounded on those sitting bones as we lift our legs up, both pose. So yes, I feel like it's almost impossible not to lean the chest back a little. But again, you don't want to be, putting pressure so much on your tailbone as unsafe when you're still trying to find your sitting bones pretty much rooting into the floor. Another few breaths. If you want to make this more challenging, extend your arms. You can even extend your legs. Take another breath in. Let's exhale both feet to the floor. Inhale, reach arms forward. Exhale. Just roll onto the back. Take a moment here. Inhale. And exhale. And we're going to lift legs up. So there's a little bend in the knees. We're going to go into a little bit of abdominal work. So one thing that I want to point out though, yes, our legs are bending on an angle, but I always have to stress this because a lot of times people, when we start to lower one leg at a time, they do this. We're not lowering from the shin. See, there's a big difference between doing this, which is no abdominal work at all. Even this is no abdominal work. We're lowering from the thigh. So notice that difference in that the legs are literally going to stay the same shape, same angle. Take a breath in. Now you're working with your breath. Exhale, drop the right thigh, let your heel hover. Avoid rushing the leg back up. Let the heel hover. Inhale, right leg up. Let's exhale, drop left thigh, hover. Again, your legs are staying the same exact angle, same degree of bending in the knee. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, drop right thigh and pause. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop left thigh, pause. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop the right thigh and pause, almost there. Keep that nice navel to spine action. Inhale, lift. Super aware of your abdominals. Exhale, drop left thigh, pause. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop right thigh and pause. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop left thigh, pause. Inhale, left leg up. Take a little break. Hug knees into the chest. Full breath in. Full breath out. And this time we're going to straighten the legs again. We're almost straighten, I should say. You're still going to keep a soft bend in the knees. But this time hands can interlace behind the head. Now, two ways you can do this. You can just leave the head on the floor to modify. If you want to make it more intense, lift shoulder blades away from the floor. Breathe in. Exhale, lower both legs. Let the feet hover. They're not really touching the floor. Inhale, legs up. Exhale, lower. Work in slow motion. Inhale, so no rushed, jerky movements. Use control the best you can with both your breath and the movement of your body. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Let your feet hover just for 5. We're almost there. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your feet, release your head. Full breath in. Let's even just lengthen the legs a bit. And release your arms, breathe out. Now, setting up for some back bending, there's options. So we can bend the knees. Those of you that might want to take a more restorative approach can just take restorative bridge pose. So the block, you go underneath your pelvis and just chill out here. You can even place the block higher if you want a more intense stretch in your psoas muscles, your hip flexors and quads. If you want a more active approach, take the same shape without the block. So you're going to have to use your legs and glutes a bit more if you're opting not to use the block. Now, it's also good to interlace the fingers. There's a variation. Interlace those fingers and externally rotate the upper arms. And then ever so slightly pigeon toe the feet, right? So we don't want to duck toe the feet, not so great for lower back and inner knees. Either super neutral feet, parallel feet, or even a slight pigeon toe is okay. One more breath in. One more breath out. Now I'm going to come back to the restorative variation, sacrum on block. So you can choose to do this or bring your pelvis back to the floor to rest for a moment. So some of you might want to come back to the active bridge pose again, or if you have a wheel practice, you can bring the hands by the ears. So I'm not going to demonstrate this today. I don't really feel quite so open enough in my body right now. But if you know Urdhva Dhanurasana, if you know your wheel pose and you would like to take that, go ahead, press on up. You're pressing your hands into the floor, lifting your heart up to the ceiling. And if you want to avoid that one, come back to your your bridge pose. A few more breaths wherever you are. And then if you're in a more kind of intense back bend, release your hips to the floor. If you're on your block, take your time, lift your hips. Remove your block, bring your hips down. And then we are just gonna bring the feet as wide as the mat. And then let your knees knock in towards each other. And we'll hug our knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze, inhaling and exhaling. Now either cactus or tee your arms out to the sides. And then exhale both legs all the way over to the right. So if you find that your outer right thigh does not touch the floor all the way or with ease, use a block underneath your outer right thigh. Just have that little lift. And then to take this really full spinal twist, try to look over your left arm. Nice deep breaths. Three more mindful breaths all together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath in. Stay for your breath out. We'll inhale, legs back up through center. And just exhale, same long twist, both legs to the left. So again, if your outer left thigh does not reach the floor with ease and you're struggling and you feel like this kind of thing is happening, take your block, even blankets can work, and just give your outer leg that support. If it can reach the floor, of course, go ahead and do that. It's probably a more effective twist for most of us. If it's accessible, look over your right arm. Now, keep knees in alignment with your hips, right? Sometimes people accidentally pull the knees too far away from the chest. Think of knees not touching chest, but moving in the direction of the chest. Safer for your back. So you want to feel the twist coming more from the midsection as opposed to the lumbar or lower back. We don't want to feel as though we're twisting there. Do more deep breaths. Three more breaths all together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in. Breathing out. We'll inhale, legs back up through center. Exhale again, hug the knees into the chest. We're going to rock our way up to sit. Extend the legs long. If you find that you need to bend your knees a little, that's fine. We'll inhale both arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Paschimottanasana. Make sure you're still breathing evenly. I'll lift up to sit. And then a couple of options here. You can work on a headstand, shoulder stand, or if you'd rather pick another forward bend, you may do that as well. If you're going to do straddle, or vishta, or butterfly pose, also known as cobbler pose, bound ankle pose, any forward bend that you might wish to do is fine. If you have a wall and you'd like to work on a headstand, that can be nice. Or if you don't have a wall, but remember, you want to keep most of the weight in your arms. So again, the choices are a seated forward fold or shoulder stand or headstand. So you know a shoulder stand is great. If not, you might just want to opt to do legs up the wall pose. So right now I'm going to focus more on the headstand. If you're by a wall, interlace the fingers. So of course it's hard to see, but you're interlacing the fingers. This is Sirsasana 1. And the elbows are just under the shoulders. In some cases, it might be a little wider than the shoulders, which is fine, not too wide. You want to pretty much stack your joints. So try to get that alignment. Bring the very crown of the head to the floor, lift your hips up. Now, there's different ways to approach this, right? Some people might really want to use their core strength, bend both knees, and then try to avoid using the wall and lift the legs up. But if you know you need to rely on the wall, that's okay. You don't want to overly kick or hoist, but you can lift your hips and then just kind of do maybe like a gentle hop. Oops, floor's a little slippery there, but do a gentle hop until you can rest your feet on the wall. So you don't have to balance perfectly. It's still great for your circulation just to be upside down, even if your feet are on the wall. Now, have a lot of the pressure in your forearms, not all in your head and neck. You are using your arms. Now, if you find that you want to try to balance, maybe you just bring one heel a little bit away from the wall. Maybe you place that back or put the other heel away from the wall. You know, and of course you might find that you can balance with both feet away, even if just for a second. To rest when you need, we are all different. Some people can stay up here for quite a long time. Others might, you know, need to rest in child's pose. If you need to rest, rest. Otherwise, try to be upside down for another minute or so. If you're in shoulder stand, same rules apply. Rest if you need to, but stay up if you can. So being upside down, of course, can be, you know, challenging, different, scary. See if you can come back to your focus on the breath. If you're in a forward bend, if you opted for that, slowly come out of that. You guys coming out of the forward bend, make your way back onto your backs, and then bring the soles of your feet to touch in Supta Baddha Konasana. Recline, bound, angle pose. The rest of the class will join you there shortly. If you're still upside down, whatever one, make your way out of it, right? So maybe you just bring one leg down at a time. And we'll just take a brief child's pose. And then we'll just all find our way onto the back. We'll take a little Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet touch. Legs butterfly out to the sides. You can find your way into Shavasana, extending your legs, palms facing up for corpse pose. If you need a blanket over your body, anything to be comfortable, maybe a rolled up blanket underneath your thighs. Just do your best to surrender. You can enjoy Shavasana as long as you'd like. Otherwise, just bringing movements to your fingers and toes. And hugging each knee into the chest. Rolling over to one side. And gently lifting your way back up to sit. Bringing hands to the heart center. And thanking yourself for making the effort and the time to be here. Namaste. Thank you all for being here.